Hey, what's up guys, it is Card Shuffler 99 here, and today I'm going to be revealing for you guys Aaron Krau's live show quarterfinal knife trick that he performed on America's Got Talent. If you haven't seen the performance already, make sure you go check that out. I'll put a link down in the description. Just go watch it, come back here, and you guys can get a sense of how he went about performing this trick. This is a really old sort of routine, something that's been done by magicians for many years now. The specific knife sort of toothpick trick, just any sort of nail, blade, anything like that. People have been doing this sort of trick where they cover it up and they basically smack their hand down on it. They use judges, all that kind of stuff. So this is a really old act. It's nothing new. So I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys how to do that today. Very simple trick. But anyway, guys, we do have a giveaway on the channel. All you have to do to enter is like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment something down in the comment section below, and make sure you have those post notifications turned on. We are giving away 10 Theory 11 decks, such as this one right here. This is the Artifice deck right here. And then we're also going to be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card. That's going to be 5 winners, 5 $10 Amazon gift cards right there. Be sure to enter that, and we also want to give a special thank you to Amazon.com. Thanks to Amazon, we have our very own Amazon page, our own link down in the description. You guys can check that out, Amazon.com/shop/cardshuffler99. Basically, it's a list, a page of our product recommendations. We put a bunch of our favorite decks. We found a bunch of deals. We put it on that page. You guys can go onto that link. You can really buy whatever you want, but if you want to buy some of our product recommendations, the entire list will be right there. Once again, thank you to Amazon for that. And anyway, guys, let's get straight into this reveal. Now, once again, if you guys haven't seen the performance, be sure to check that out. That way you understand what I'm talking about. But I will do a quick, brief overview of the trick. So what he's going to do is a very popular nail act. Basically, the traditional act uses a nail and obviously a pallet of wood. And what's traditionally done is you're going to have a bunch of bags with a nail sort of preset in the bag, okay? Now, the traditional way this trick is performed is that every single bag actually has a nail inside of it. Now, this was actually performed by David and Lehman on America's Got Talent a couple years back. And what happens is you're going to have several bags, maybe 3 or 4 bags. They're all going to have a pallet of wood. Pretend this was a pallet of wood. It would have this inside. And then it would also have basically a nail or something sharp just laying down right on top of it, okay? Now, this is going to be true for every single one of the bags. Now, once again, this is not how he did it. This is how the traditional trick is done. Then I'm going to go into teaching you guys how he did his variation of this trick. So, once again, the traditional method, every bag would have their pallet of wood, and it's going to have a hole in it, obviously. That way he can put the nail in, and then there's going to be a nail resting right on top of it. Now, obviously, they're going to build up suspense. They're going to ask judges, which bag should I smash first? And then basically they would just take their hand, smash down on it, and it would show, oh, there's no nail. Until you get to that final bag, what they're going to do is when they reach into it, they're going to quickly just take the nail, they're going to put it into the to the slot, and then basically they'll take the bag, or they'll take this sort of prop out of the bag and then show, hey, this is the one that had the nail in. They never open up the other bags. Now, that's the important thing to understand, because that's how you know that there actually is a nail resting inside of every bag. Once they slap it down, they just throw it out. They say, oh, there wasn't a nail in it. For the last one, they're just going to take it. Instead of smashing down on it, they're going to open it up, they're going to put the nail in, and then they're going to take it out and say, oh, check it out, this is the one, the only one with the nail in it. Now, that's the traditional trick. Once again, David and Lehman actually performed that variation on America's Got Talent back a couple years ago. Now, the way this one's going to be done is he's going to start out with the knife in his hand, okay? Now, the setup of this trick is a little bit different, because traditionally what's done is you're going to have a brown paper bag that sort of rests upwards, right? So the opening is going to be on top. You'll notice what Aaron Krau's doing is something a little bit different, where he's going to have a pallet of wood, but he puts the bag on top of the pallet of wood so that the opening is face down. So basically he takes the bag, he holds it from the bottom, but then he flips it over, right? So the bottom of the bag is facing upwards, right? The traditional method's a little bit different. Basically, it would just be the bag, and then you would take the pallet of wood, put it at the bottom of the bag, and then you'd be set to go. That way, once you open the bag from the top, you can reach in, you can put this in, and then you can take it out, right? Under cover. Now, he does a little bit different, to the point where the bottom of the bag faces up. That way, once you lift it up, there's no way he can sort of, put the nail in. There's no way he can fidget around with that, making this trick a little bit cleaner. But what you have to understand is that the principle behind this trick is very, very simple. Nothing you have to understand, too in depth, I guess you could say, because all he really has to do is have some sort of marking system, some way where he knows which bag he puts the knife in. Now, obviously, he chooses the bag to put the knife in. Even if he hadn't chosen, there's always a way for him to understand. Now, all he needs is a sort of marking, okay? Now, for example, this is something I'm going to explain to you guys, is a marked deck. If you don't know what a marked deck is, a marked deck is essentially a deck that has very, very minute details on it that actually tell you what the card is. I'm actually going to show you an example of that right now. You can see here, this is a marked deck. Now, from the human eye, everyone would say, oh, this is just a normal playing card, right? But what you have to notice, if you look very, very close, right over here, in fact, I'll use the pen to show you guys, right over here, this third sort of design, there's a line that faces up. And you notice that all the way down, there's 13 diamonds that go down. So what that means is you have to look for the line. This is ace, 2, 3. This is 3 right here, so we know this card's a 3. And the line that faces up is clubs. So it goes basically clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. That's all you have to remember when you go with the marked deck. And just like that, you can see that's clubs, right? So clubs is facing up. So that's what I mean about a marked deck. Marked decks are very, very simple. And that's essentially something what he's going to use for this trick. So once again, he's going to have pallets of wood resting on the table. So you have one pallet. So for example, let's say I have a playing card here. 1, 2, 3. Let's say we had 3 pallets of wood. Now once again, there's no nail, no knife resting in any of these, but he is going to put the knife onto one of them. Now, all he needs to know is there has to be some sort of marking system, some sort of way that he's going to know which bag it's in. Now, this could be literally the smallest possible dot. Let's say he just made, if this was, I don't know, let's say he just had a piece of paper here, like the brown or the red paper bag he was using. If he just had 1 dot on it, he would say, okay, that's bag 1, 2 dots, bag 2. Now, obviously, Howie doesn't even know that's there, okay? And even better, I mean, he could have done something, if you didn't know, Howie's actually colorblind. So he could have done something with that. That's another thing that David Lehman did. They actually played, on Howie's colorblindness, and they did a really cool act there as well. But all he has to do is have a sort of marking system, whether it's just 1 or 2 dots on the bag. And basically, he's just going to understand which one it is. Now, that's method number 1. Okay, now that's one way he could have done it. The other thing you have to notice is right before he smashes Simon's hand down on the bag, you'll notice he fidgets both bags, okay? And what's interesting about that, once he moves both bags, I don't know necessarily how much heavier the bag becomes with the knife inside. I mean, the knife could have been significantly heavier than the actual pallet of wood. He could have picked a very, very heavy knife. And what that would mean is once he fidgets the first bag, he says, oh, okay, this is the one with the knife in it because it's significantly heavier than the second one, right? So just check that out. I'm not exactly sure what time in the video that happened, but right before he, smashes, he basically has 2 bags left. Right before he smashes Simon's hand down on one of them, you'll notice he moves both bags. Now, what he could do there is he could either be looking for his marking, he could be doing that, or he could be fidgeting around to see which bag actually has the knife in it. Most likely, he's going to use a marking system. It's the easiest way. And the judges, even though they're on stage, once again, the lighting's not exactly the greatest, so they're not going to be able to see it. But if he knows exactly what he's looking for, he knows where to look, when to look for it, he can basically find the bag no matter where it is, right? All he needs is some sort of marking to tell him, okay, this is bag A, bag B, bag C, and I put the knife in bag B, for example, right? So all he has to do, once again, even though he mixes it around, he just has to find the right bag. Now, he does do a little bit of suspense, right, where he takes Simon's hands, semi-smashes it down, but then switches bags. That's kind of cool, adds a little bit of effect. So once again, that is generally how this trick is done. He just needs some sort of marking system. I mean, there's literally so many different possibilities as to how this could have been done. I can't definitively tell you guys, oh, this is the exact method he used, but all he has to know is, once again, which one he puts it in. Now, keep in mind, he puts the knife into a bag from the beginning of the trick. All he needs to know is which bag he puts it in, right? Whether the bag is marked with a dot, on the top, on the bottom, on the side, wherever he puts a dot, any sort of marking system, he just needs to know which bag it's in, and then basically at the end of the trick, he knows which ones to smash down, which ones not to. That's essentially the entire routine. Now, guys, let us know down in the comment section. Do you guys agree with us? This is honestly, I've been doing magic reveals for 2 to 3 years now, actually, and I've seen this trick many, many times. This is something that, is traditionally done. Now, it's not always done this way. There's many different ways to do it. Like I said, the way David Lehman did it, where they had, a nail in every single bag, and all they had to do was basically put the nail into the pallet of wood and then take it out and say, oh, okay, this is the one. There's so many variations, but let us know, do you guys agree with us? Anyway, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and this Card Shuffler 99. Peace out.